Hey there, paper geeks and glitter nerds, it's Shin, the Crazy Geek Crafter. It is time for my final installment of the monochromatic challenge. I did say that I might be doing 2 more, but it will only be this one. The rules are, all products are permitted if they're in the designated color, pattern paper must only be in the designated color, and small amounts of black and white are permitted, for example for stamping and eyes on characters. I have a hashtag you can use if you want to participate in this challenge. It's called hashtag cgcmonochallenge. For this final card, I'll be doing the color gray. And here are the supplies I found in my stash. A few distress inks, an ink for stamping, some other inks for stamping but not alcohol friendly, 1 Nuva drop, some gray pearls, gray cardstocks in different sizes and shades. So let's get on with the project. I had already planned out my project in advance. I wanted to try another one of these monochromatic coloring things like I did with the brown one with the kitties. This time I'm going with a my favorite thing stamp with a mermaid. I'm making a gray background with an embossing folder. I made this plan beforehand since sometimes I struggle with these monochromatic cards. I went to Pinterest and found a few inspirations, and this whole coloring monochromatic thing was something I really wanted to try again, and gray was the perfect color because I have a lot of grays. A whole lot of grays. Now I chose only to pick one shade, so to say, of gray. I picked all the warm grays. I'm not going to use cool grays, blue grays or green grays, which you also have in Shin markers. I'm only going to use the warm ones. And that might have been a mistake, but I'm uncertain of that. I do think it looks nice. It is in no way muddy or unreadable, despite the fact that I only used this one tone, that's the word, not shade, tone of gray. It's been a while since I made a masked image, so I'm going to start out by making a huge mistake and stamping the rock first. So now she has to sit behind the rock, and I didn't really want her to. I wanted her on the rock, so I'm going to have to do this again. And also make a mask for her, since I don't have one. But that's the easy part, I guess. Now that I have her sitting on her rock, I did figure I could easily stamp out the extra images of the corals and seaweeds, since they're all solid. And this card is going to be gray, it's not going to be a problem. I won't even have to try and color them or anything, or use colored inks, since the picture's gray. That was nice. And I think it gave a lot more life to the image that there was all these florals? Is it called that? Under the sea? I don't know. I'll leave that up to marine biologists. Looking at this picture, I feel bad that I don't have a Polaroid die, because that would have fit perfectly with this. But then again, a Polaroid frame is supposed to be white, and that doesn't go with the theme of this challenge. So she's going to be in a circle, and the circle that fit her didn't fit the scallops, so no scallops for her, just a circle. While I was fiddling around with this sentiment, I got to the point where I knew I had to put something else on the card too. And luckily, I did a princess party some years back with a under the sea theme, so I have a few dies of sea things, like shells. And I also have one for coral actually, but I'm just gonna use the shells for this one. And yes, I'm a grown woman and I have hosted multiple princess parties. It's actually quite fun. A bunch of grown-ass women in tutu skirts, having a blast eating cakes and drinking tea. And of course, playing games, that's the important part, right? Since you've seen the thumbnail of this video, I assume you have, you know that these pearls are not gonna make it onto the card. I had this crazy idea that I was gonna cover it everywhere the stitching intersected, but it was too much. It was far too much. I didn't even want to put a single pearl on it once I watched and put all these on. It was just not for this card. Maybe another card, but not this one. I actually ended up not putting anything shiny on this card. I actually like it matte. Sometimes you have to do something different, I guess. I did leave it in so that you know I went this way and I decided against it. And maybe you think this is the better look. Please tell me in the comments if you do so. Or maybe it's inspiring you to do something yourself with pearls. I don't know. I just thought that it would be wrong to remove it because it was part of my process to make this card. And sometimes you go down an alley and you decide that it's the wrong way and you have to go back and start over. In this case, I didn't have to start over. I just had to get the pearls back in the bag. Luckily. My final monochromatic card. For this time, at least. I am thinking maybe I'll do it again someday. And here are all the cards I've made in this challenge. I hope you will like this video and subscribe. Ring the bell if you're afraid to miss the next video. And I hope you'll be having a good day, evening, or night.